In this video, Adam shares his life internship model and how he overcame a life crisis after leaving the military and starting his entrepreneur journey.
Angel,
Man, I haven't seen you in a while. And you mentioned that overnight you kind of stopped.
Yeah.
Do you mind sharing?
Yeah. So over the last 3 months, I've really come through a existential crisis in a way, where I realized I was chasing a false sense of myself. I was being who I thought society wanted me to be, and not fully being Adam Travis Cummings.
Do you feel that other people are going through the similar situation?
100%.
Do you think it's more that the people hide it more and they don't communicate it, or do you think it's more visible and we're just not paying attention?
I don't think people even know that they're being a false sense of themselves. Just the last 5 years since I've been out of the Marine Corps was honestly trying to learn who to be. You know, I knew who I was in the Marine Corps. I was a sergeant. I was looked up to and respected.
Let me ask you, do you think that this effect is isolated to veterans, or this is going on?
Oh, it's everybody. Every single person.
Do you think veterans have it more because of the identity shift? Live in a place where you were told what to do to one that you got to figure out what to do for yourself.
I think that's a big issue with it, but what honestly, I think it's put in our face and we have to deal with it. So you have these people who never went into the military, so they never had to be someone else. Or in my opinion, the Marine Corps was a version of me that was very real. I'm naturally aggressive. I'm naturally intense. I work hard. I am a perfectionist. So being in that kind of community and being in that total institution, I was able to not only survive but thrive in that.
Got it.
But when I got out here, you can no longer be the same person you were in there. You can't grab someone by the throat and deal with your problems. You can't tell someone to go F off anymore. What I've realized is that I think for the most part, most of us are lost in this life. Most of us are lost within ourselves. We're being who we think society wants us to be through either we see it on social media, we compare ourselves to other people's lives, we think we need to do this to make other people happy, to get a job, to get the wife, like all these different connections, instead of really searching who we are inside and learning who we are in this world and what we're meant to be. That's why we have a lot of older friends that just, they don't really know what they're doing, and they realize they come to fruition one day and they go, wow, I'm miserable, because they've been living a false sense of self their entire lives, and now are just coming to, we don't have that choice after we get out of the military. It's like you have to be someone different.
So let me ask you, what have you done that is making a huge difference in a huge shift?
I'd say seeking counseling. Okay. I was actually telling people to seek counseling before I even sought it myself, and I've always been a leader that leads from the front.
Got it.
And I realized that I got to a certain point in my journey that I couldn't do it alone anymore.
Got
I'd gotten as far as I can alone, and I just can't get all those blind spots.
Got it.
And yeah, so since I've sought counseling, it's really helped.
What can we do before we are seeking counseling?
I truly believe spending time with yourself. I read, okay, but I believe that also there's a time to read and there's a time to apply. And I think there's a lot of people that get stuck in just reading all the time, and they have all this theory, but they have no application to it. So I go through phases throughout the year where some months I'm gobbling up books. You know, I gobble up 10, 15 audiobooks. And then some months I don't read at all because I'm thinking for myself. I'm applying those lessons I learned. I'm trying to be more present, or I'm trying to learn, you know, what's my spot at that point. I think that the biggest decision you need to come to in order to really kind of grow and discover who you are is that you need to come to the conclusion that you're not okay, and that you need to be okay with not being okay.
But I think a part of the challenge that we all know that we should not care what other people think about us or say about us, but we do. It's like we can't avoid, even, you know, we hear something, our attitude change, and we have to swallow that and it's okay, Angel, that should not bother me. But even for that couple minutes, it took my energy away. I think for paying attention from the outside, I think people claim to be authentic, but they are following the authenticity of somebody else. I don't know.
Social chameleons.
Social chameleon. That's a good one.
So I believe that was always one of my success factors in my life, was my ability to pretty much be like a chameleon in every social situation, and no matter where it was, I can behave in the way that it would be accepted by other people. Because my entire life I cared so much about what people think of me. And again, in life, everything there's a balance. You have to care about what people think of you a little bit because you exist with those people. So it's called common courtesy. It's when you allow it to dictate how you act, behave, and think and do is when it becomes a problem. And the issue with when you, like you said, somebody does something, says something, and then you get intense about it, even within yourself for a couple minutes. That's your ego. And again, that's us taking it personally. And because our ego, especially being from the military, and we have a high sense of self and we have high pride in ourselves, when you attack us, when you attack our ego and make us feel less than, that's when we get aggressive. So even on the inside, you're fuming. It's because you're taking it personally, when at the end of the day, the way somebody treats you is a complete mirror to the way they treat themselves inside. So if you could take a step back, take a breath, and go, why is that person behaving that way? Instead of going, I ain't that person. How can that person think I'm that way? And getting all egotistical about it, you can actually take a step back and go, what's going on in their life to make them feel that they can talk to me or treat me any way they please.
So let's switch to business. You were doing a few things. What was the biggest lesson learned throughout your... Because we met at the beginning of this year, so it's pretty much a year.
Yeah.
In the last 12 months, what's the biggest lesson that you learn?
There's no shortcuts. It's work. And if you are doing something that you can't put the work into, then you're not going to be successful in it. And so again, with that false sense of self and that little bit of self-entitlement I had, my ego, I really didn't want to start from the bottom again. And so I did everything I can to try to find other people that were already ahead of the game that I can latch on to, help them get to the top, and then they bring me with them. But at the end of the day, those are the people that really don't care about other people at the same time. In terms of, I'm not saying they don't care about people. They're more concerned with what they have to do for themselves. I was more concerned with what they had to do for, what I had to do for them to get them successful.
Got it.
And without that reciprocity, I fell apart. And it was because I really didn't want to start from the bottom again. All I've ever done is start from the bottom. And so for me to do all of this, to spend those 5 years in the Marine Corps, ending as a sergeant, running a $25 million aircraft shop, getting out, getting an accounting degree in 2.5 years, working top 10 CPA firms, starting businesses, doing all this stuff, I felt like I rated more than I did.
Got it.
And when it didn't work out my way, I got upset about it. Instead of just being like, okay, it didn't work out. What's the shift? What's the change?
Got it. So work hard.
Work hard.
Smart.
Smarter, not harder, yes.
And in the last 12 months, well, you said something that I think we all don't, a lot of us don't verbalize it, which is we don't want to start from the bottom. But I think sometimes it's exactly what
we need to,
so we can learn what needs to happen.
That's what I came to the conclusion of was, and my buddy put it succinctly, he said, amateurs do what they want and not often do what they need. Professionals do what they have to. And exactly what I've been following you all year, and you are consistent, and you're always plugging away, and you're always taking care of the little things, doing the things you have to do. I got so exhausted from the burnout, from all the other things I was doing. I was doing 15 different things at a time that I couldn't get down to nitty gritty. And that's why focus is so important, is that we have so much time on this earth. I really believe that, yes, life's short, and I agree, but at the same time, it's long.
Yeah.
And if you can pick one thing to focus in, or 1 to 3 things to focus on each year, you can do a bunch of things and be a jack of all trades. But if you don't give that time, like I said, be at the bottom, learn the foundational principles to anything it is that you want to do, then when you get to that high level, you don't even know how to get there.
You said something that I'm going to say recently, because I don't have a specific date, but it's been a couple of years since I made the switch. I used to put my attention in a lot of things, and I didn't gain the traction that I wanted. And I've been, since launching marketing results, I've been focusing mainly on just video. Just video. And I don't talk about time management. I don't talk about anything else. And I think that's the biggest difference. But I still disconnect. Saturday and Sunday, I don't block anything on my calendar. I spend time with the family.
You have to.
And it's I think you said something key. I don't know if you said it meaning that way, meaning like you focus on 2 to 3 things and you have the freedom to do whatever else you want to do, because this is your priority. After this is done, then you have time to do everything else.
Exactly. And so what I was coming to, what I had a big issue with is that I was raised by blue collar parents, right? So my dad worked full time, my mom worked full time my entire life growing up. I had a blue collar background. I mean, even the Marine Corps, you work like a dog, I thought, and then you look out and you see all these gurus and these people who are successful in business and everything, and you're like, I want to be them. And they're like, I worked 100-hour weeks to get here. Do you work your 9 to 5, work your 5 to 9, or your 9 to 5 to fund your 5 to 9? And I agree. But the thing is also are you, unless you're absolutely completely happy doing what you're doing, working 100-hour weeks, are you happy? The amount of time you put into something doesn't often translate to quality of time. And so my friend Sapna, she has a We Go Kids parenting network. It's kind of like Vetting America is going to be, a whole platform and everything like that. She puts 20 hours a week into it, but 20 solid hours a week where she's focused and that's all she's doing. Her phone's off, there's nothing, no distractions, 20 quality hours a week. And because of that, she's going so far while enjoying the journey, while having time to spend with her family, while being able to do the other things that she wants to do, where she's pretty much having her cake and eating it too, by being patient, by believing that the universe is conspiring for us, that it's going to provide her everything she needs to be successful. And she's not overworking herself. She's not overthinking it. She's not overdoing it. And so we spend so much time. Think about you work a 100-hour week. How many of those hours are you quality producing?
No, it's... We can't say a solid number, but we know it's not 100.
Yes.
It's not even 50.
It can't be, because you're so exhausted. And that's what I realized this year, is that I was not only doing all of this stuff, but I was still, drinking. I was still having fun in terms of that expel my energy in not a quality way. And because of that, I kept hitting these speed bumps where I'd have all the energy in the world and all of a sudden fall off for a week, and all the energy in the world and fall off for 2 weeks, or have all the energy in the world and like these last 3 months and just completely fall off and lose my mind. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? It's because I'm not taking care of myself the right way. I thought I was, but I wasn't. I know self-care, not resting, not having good pace, not having focus, and having all these expectations without doing the work underneath that I needed to do to get there. So again, what I said is balance is key. And yeah, you can work your 100-hour weeks, but if, say you have a family, right? You have a beautiful family and you worked 100-hour weeks. Yes, this business may thrive, but then your family falls apart, your kids start doing worse in school, your wife doesn't like you anymore, you stop talking. And then after that, once your kids are gone, your wife's gone, your house is gone, all you have is your business, you're miserable, and then your business goes too. So at the end of the day, if you're working all of this time, you're working all of this energy to try to get to a place of external success, and then you fail yourself on the inside, when you finally reach that external success, you ain't gonna feel successful.
You couldn't say it any better. Now, in your journey, the last 12 months, when we, not talking about energy, not talking about picking more than a handful of goals, what do you think has been the biggest challenge? Not talking about mindset or energy. What do you think, or alcohol? What do you think is your biggest, has been your biggest challenge?
I know what I'm capable of, and this is what the last 3 months have really revealed to me.
Okay.
And this is what goes back to the alcohol, all the time we spent having fun.
Because off camera, Adam and I talked briefly, and you said that you'd stop drinking.
Yeah, I need to stop drinking.
Okay.
My goal is to stop drinking because it just doesn't serve a purpose in my life anymore. And what I've realized is that if you look at the most successful people who are also happy, they tend to not drink. They tend to not put poison in their body. And that goes back to that self-care. If I really love myself, if I really care about myself, and yet I smoke cigarettes, I'm putting 4,000 chemicals in my body 20 times a day. Say you smoke a pack. Say I'm drinking to the way Marines drink. I mean, I could drink a 6-pack and barely have a buzz, and that's a problem. That's not okay, because then your body has to process that. Your organs have to process that, and doesn't have the energy to actually take in the beautiful world that you're doing. So my biggest thing was myself. The reason I would drink was because I wanted to have fun. No, I wanted to be distracted because this process is hard. This journey is very difficult, and I wanted to be present. Instead of working on my meditation, instead of the self-care, instead of doing those things that can bring me into the present sober, I needed a crutch to get to the presence. And that's what I realized what like weed is, drugs, alcohol, even pharmaceuticals, even what do I say, even adrenaline seeking adventures. Those are all instantly gratifying so that we can be in the present and enjoy life in the moment. But then they tend to always have a lot of consequence, whether it's physically, mentally, emotionally. And so what I've realized is that I'm the biggest obstacle in my way from my success. I continue to hinder myself, give myself speed bumps, put things in my way that don't need to be there, that if I would just have cutting all that stuff out, which of course it's a process, so I'm not judging myself. That's big too, is don't judge yourself for the things you do. Just be objective and be like, this is what I'm doing, this is how I'm doing it. Okay, so what's the solution? Because I don't believe there's problems in this world. I believe there are situations and then there's solutions to those situations. If you look at everything as a problem, then it becomes a problem and you manifest it as one.
So you're still doing Better in America once a week?
We wrapped it up at the end of October, was season 1. Season 2 starts third week of January again.
Third week of January.
Yes.
And you're going to continue doing it at the Attic Cafe every week?
Yes, so we're going to start off at the Attic Cafe, but I'm hoping we can move to a different venue that has more people next, because I want more exposure.
Got it.
And my goal, which I might have talked to you about, I think I've told you, but if not, we can talk about it now.
Of course.
My goal with it is I want to travel the country and go visit these veteran organizations and resources with a film crew and spend a day or two with them recording content, so that not only we can demonstrate that the same transitional issues are happening across the country, but that these are the resources that are here for you.
Got it.
And this will also help them with marketing content so they can get more donors and raise more money. So everybody wins. It's a win-win-win.
What has been Better in America biggest challenge in the last 12 months?
My perfectionism. I have a thing. My dad taught me this, and I'm not blaming this on him at all. But we always grew up where it's quality over quantity, and for me, it's there's a lot of things I still need to get Vetting America to the level where I can grow.
Like what?
I still don't have a website.
Okay.
I still don't have a video editor. I still don't have sponsors to raise the money. So for me, one of my weaknesses is when I see what I need to do, but there's so much of it, I get overwhelmed and I don't take action. And I haven't been taking action on it because for whatever reason, I don't want just a landing page. I want that beautiful website that has everything like that. Because if I can't have it, then I'm not going to waste my time. Yeah. But again, I'm not looking at it as steps. So I'm a visionary. I'm a high level thinker, and my shortcoming is my inability to make steps to those plans. I end up accomplishing them somehow because I just put it up into the universe and it happens. But what I need to work on is, okay, so I need a website, right? But I can't afford one right now. So what do I do? What I do is I start with a landing page that can maybe start out with a landing page that will get with an email capture. Mm-hmm. And then that'll be where I can start creating my residual audience that I can communicate with and continue to foster as I'm building out the next website. And the next website doesn't need to be a $10,000 website. It could be a $500 website and then move up to it. So like for me, it's all in or not at all. And I need to get past that mentality because I'm holding myself back.
Got it.
Like little steps.
So you can see the big picture, but you've been struggling to create a step. Got it. And getting people to show up in the show, it hasn't been an issue?
No, that's actually...
The easy part?
I've had a couple weeks where I'm like rushing around trying to get... But, I mean, I know so many people now.
Yes.
I know so many veterans now. And I'm telling you, I'm getting, every time I post a video, I get 25 to 50 friend requests on Facebook that just people that saw it, I guess they want to be friends with me.
Amazing.
Which is really cool. And I thought LinkedIn was going to be my audience driver, but it actually ends up being Facebook. And what was pretty interesting is this year has been a big year of learning how to surrender to the universe. And like I said, it conspires for us. And I truly believe if you're living an intentionally positive life and you're doing what you're purposed, you're helping others, you're pushing out that positive karma, the universe will align itself for our benefit. And so everything I've needed this year has been provided for me. I mean, I haven't made a lot of money this year at all. Like this whole last year has just been self-exploration. I call it a life internship. Life internship.
That's a good one for the title, life internship.
Yeah, yes. I just jumped right in. I jumped right in, and I said I'm going to try a bunch of stuff out and see what I like, see what I don't like, and where I'm going to go. And through that, I found my focus, and through that, I gained a lot of skills, and through that, I gained a lot of knowledge of what I'm good at and what I'm not so good at. So it was just a very revealing year. Financially speaking, it wasn't the most successful year, but overall speaking, it was my best year I ever had.
Got it.
And the whole idea behind that surrender is I just truly believe that if you put that positive energy out there and believe and have faith in whatever, cosmos, God, universe, whatever you want to call it, to have faith and know that the universe will have your back. That's pretty much why Vetting America has done what it's done. What's been so amazing about Vetting America is that I've let it kind of organically evolve on its own. And from it, I've had so many people reach out to me. They're like, this is incredible. Have you thought about this? This is incredible. Have you thought about that? I have people helping me with it. I have other people that are interested in being a part of it. And it's also apropos to life is that it's not always about how hard you work. It's about how smart you work, but it's also about having faith and patience. And because I haven't overdone it, it's kind of just materialized on its own.
Let me ask you, early you said you're a perfectionist. What is one thing that you would like to change from the structure of the show?
My show?
Yeah.
I want it to be more engaging. I needed to. My biggest issue with the show is that people tell me it's too long for video, which is understandable.
Got it.
That's kind of why I wanted to add different camera cuts.
Got it.
Some things to keep people around, keep their brains changing, because after a while it's just two people talking, and I understand that it's not the most engaging of all things. For me, what I would love to change is I'm thinking I want to turn that aspect into an actual podcast, into an audio podcast, and to take the video portion to go around to the different veteran organizations and resources and use the video portion as that.
I know time constraint, but when you get help for the editor, what I will suggest is the long piece video uploaded to YouTube.
Yes.
And then the shorter version when the veteran says, I would say try this. So you upload the long piece to YouTube and upload the same way you're doing it on Facebook. Upload the long piece. Then tomorrow or the day after, you share a small quote or something interesting, like you have said a few nice things today, that those 10 to 15 seconds they will go on Instagram or Twitter.
Yes.
But it's the same. The only challenge with that is that if I've seen editors that they just stream the beginning at the end, and you can't do that when you want to split your hour long into 60 different short clips. You have to watch the whole thing. And so I understand it's time consuming. What do you do to promote the show?
Honestly, right now,
Besides tagging 99 people on
tagging 99 people on Facebook, and I push it to about 26 to 30 veteran groups that I'm a part of.
Groups
is
okay.
It's big because I know for a fact that that's where most of my views come from. Again, you're right about YouTube. I think YouTube is the way to go.
It just because you can use it as an archival purpose,
Exactly.
And then you can easily link to, or easier, you can link easier to your website and have that archive of resources. Plus, YouTube is you will be indexed by the search engines. When in Facebook you won't be able to.
Exactly.
So when people are searching for the veterans organization or the name of the veteran or whoever participated, you will not come up because you're just residing on Facebook versus on YouTube. But let me. So, do you use any email marketing?
No, I haven't done any of that.
Any chat bots?
No.
Did you ever did any paid ads?
No.
So basically, strictly organic Facebook groups.
This been the whole year for me was validating it to see is it an idea that can gain traction and is it an idea that I can move forward with and make money. My again going back to what would you have liked to improve upon this year that you didn't do? That would be putting more effort into Vetting America, doing the right things, like doing the editing that I should have been doing the whole time, and things that I was insecure about. And in reality, when I don't act, it's because I'm scared, and that's scared because I'm insecure, because I'm thinking, well, what do people think about this, or what do you think about that? And so, for me, I didn't do a lot of the things I know I should have done with it. And my justification is I was validating it, and that's why I just kind of let it organically happen. But again, it was that's half of it, and the other half is because I was scared and lazy.
What people tell you that they got out of Vetting America?
Just so much knowledge. There's so many golden nuggets of information by talking to all these successful entrepreneurs and these veterans who've successfully transitioned. I mean, just the last interview I posted with Dan Jarvis alone, and talking about art therapy, talking about this new, it's not so new, but it's becoming to get a lot more traction. It's called RTM protocol and has a 97% success rate in curing PTSD.
A PTSD?
Yeah, so it's all about helping people with PTSD. Like we have this art therapy where it's in a week-long retreat over in Land O'Lakes. And it's a week-long retreat, and you can go through the Camaraderie Foundation for free if you're a veteran and spend a week, just spending time with yourself, talking with counselors, getting special treatment that can help with your PTS or any other mental health issues you have. That was why I started Vetting America, is because you have all these people in a fractured community. Our community is completely fractured, and we're all chasing the crumbs. We're crumbs, literally crumbs, and nobody's working together. Everyone's trying to trump everyone. And what I've realized is that I don't need to start another nonprofit, because that's what I had originally done, is I just need to highlight all these amazing resources and organizations out there. And then the main reason I started Vetting America was to talk about mental health issues. And I took a kind of morose take on it at the end of last year, and it really didn't gain any traction. So what I realized was kind of being able to share those stories of transition, those struggles, those trials, those tribulations, but then also show a veteran who's come out through the other side, has become successful in the civilian world, is helping other veterans, and how are they able to get out of that? Yeah.
How many people have you interviewed?
30.
What I learned from 30 veterans, transitioning veterans.
That's good, yeah.
Or, you can put a number because you have your notes. You have the 30 videos. You can go back and that's a good book.
Exactly. And that's the thing about where we're at now with technology and
just the golden nuggets.
Yeah, the golden nuggets. Yeah. But alone is whatever it is you want to do, you can make money doing now. The internet has opened this just threshold for success to where, I sat down with people and they go, Adam, like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm this age and I'm lost. And I go, what do you love to do? And they're like, I'm like, no, what do you love to do? And they start talking about it and they get all jacked up and I'm like, do that. They're like, I can't make money doing that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I can't make money. But then I also look at myself, the reason I haven't made any money with Vetting America is I didn't believe I could. The reason I just started making money writing. My whole life, all I wanted to do was write. All I wanted to do was make money being a writer. And it wasn't until I truly believed that I can and went after it that I was like, whoa, I actually can do this. So we get scared.
What is one thing that Adam wants in 2019?
What do I want? I want to unlock the potential I've always known I had in myself. I want to finally get out of my own way and truly reach the level of greatness that I've always been aspiring to reach.
What do you think it will take for you to achieve that? I'm not looking for the steps. Not steps.
No. Honestly, in reality, in the most simple, succinct way, it's self-care, self-love. Because the only time that I fall off my path, the only time I lose my mind is when I stop treating myself right, when I stop listening to myself, when I stop acknowledging myself. And that goes back down to feelings. So we talked about earlier in this interview when you said, this person said something and I stew on it for 4 or 5 minutes. Half the battle is allowing yourself to stew on it and being okay with it, being okay with your feeling. Because at the end of the day, your feelings are your feelings are your antenna to the world. And so once you can get rid of a lot of the noise that your personality is hidden behind because of the way you were raised and the experiences you've gone through, your feelings actually become they dictate basically what's going on around you. So if somebody offends you, immediately you get offended and then you get a little upset. It's because they are attacking you. And that is a natural response to, hey, their tone, their aggression, the way they're looking at me, how they're saying it, it's all invoking this anger in me. Why am I mad right now? It's okay that I'm mad, but why am I mad? And you stop and think and you go, oh, because they said something that might be a little truthful. So we tend to get upset about things that people say because we believe them. And it's kind of like revealing ourselves to ourselves, and we don't like that. We don't like to be uncomfortable. But if you can take a step back and go, it's okay that I'm mad, let it go. All right, you're feeling better. So why am I mad? And figure out the root cause of that. That's a trigger. And a trigger always reveals a blind spot within you. And at the end of the day, if you can look at it that way, they're just trying to make you better. And
what about for Vetting America? What would you like to see at the end of 2019 for Vetting America?
What I would like to see is I want a fully developed website.
Okay.
That has everything that I want, including a forum where vets can come and have conversations. I want my brand to be solid. I would like to have finished another at least, the 30 interviews. And I would have liked to at least done 6 to 12 of the ones where I'm traveling 6 to 12 episodes of Vetting America where I've traveled the country and I spent a couple of days with a veteran organization or resource.
That's pretty good. Adam, where can people find you?
You can find me on Facebook at Adam T Cummings. You find me on LinkedIn at Adam T Cummings. You can find me on Instagram at adam.t.c and email adamtraviscummings@gmail.com. And hopefully I'll have my own personal website up here soon.
Soon.
Yeah. So thank you so much. That was great. I had a great time.